A new fire truck?
But I don't, I think it's just new smoke, but I don't know which direction the wind's blowing, but.
It must have changed, because like I went into the barbecue, and then when I came out, I was like, oh, yeah, it's really smoky out there.
Dan just sent a map of Diamond Lake, but I'm not seeing any. I'm not seeing any. There's none in Douglas County on the wildfire Oregon.gov site. There's a real big one down in Siskiyou, and I'm sure that's the one that's closed. And it looks like there's another one on Eagle Road.
Actually, we had to take a beer out.
And another one on Evans.
I was digging through there.
So it's all down in Jefferson County right now, but I think the wind's blowing this way. That's what I'm getting. Just a guess.
Hello. I'm doing really good. I'm on vacation now.
Oh, well, there you go.
They put us on a 4, so I can't work.
Wow, that is just a big bummer.
Yeah. Well, it kind of
It
is.
sounds kind of nice though.
Yes, it is kind of a bummer, but. Right spot. Steal somebody else's spot.
But you might as well
No
enjoy
problem,
it.
Dan.
Yeah.
John, what are you guys going over to Snake River?
Oh, huh?
Not wrong, John, sorry. What are you guys going to Snake River?
I don't know.
Chris kind of, we went over for like 4 days. It was like 89 to 95 degrees. And they didn't take horses. They told them to take 4-wheelers. They couldn't get nearly as far as they thought they'd be able to.
Oh, no, they would have been able to get.
Yeah. Well, so they only saw like 40 to 50 cows and bugles, mumbles. But anyways, Dan wanted to go back like Friday. Chris can't go Friday through Saturday because he already has to work Saturday. Anyways, he's worried he's not gonna have, his brother was gonna kind of take time off work, come back and go hunt with him, but now his brother can't.
Well, his season was in November.
Yeah, but he wants to try to get over to September because everybody tells him, but he doesn't know. He's thinking he might need to hire a name who he should hire for as an outfitter over there to take care of it. Oh, really?
You know what I should have brought, or like,
Even though it's not right? Oh, I thought everybody said the end of September. So
I don't know where she said this. John, are you recording? I left the cord from my recorder.
It's over there.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I planned it.
I actually was like, oh yeah, nice. That's kind of the road trip.
Yeah, but who's gonna go in October? He needs to get to go with him because he doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, he's got an idea now. He doesn't wanna go right now because he's older. He's going there right now anyways.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. Oh, thank you. I'm hoping,
Right.
so normally it gets so crazy.
You know, he's just worried that he's not gonna have anybody else to go back over with him before Dan goes in November. And,
You want to meet that Johnson? You want to go forward that?
yeah. Oh, you did get tax salary. I thought Hannah said that you guys had a
We
tax.
were 100. It's supposed to be 100. With 1 point, we don't have it.
Oh. Well, that's one thing is that Dan wanted his backpack and stuff, and some chainsaws and some other stuff. Camp. And no horses or anything, and Chris was like, just the two of them, you know, and just, yeah, Chris was like, it was a big wake up call. Chris had been hiking for like, I don't know, months before he went over.
Looking at you in there going, I know that face somewhere, but where do I know it?
High 90s.
Obviously, you're a board member. I'm Robert. Nice to meet you. Hopefully you get a chance to chat sometime.
It was a big fight there. husband was like shocked at how hard it was for him. He's like, I thought I was gonna lay down and die. He's like, Aiden had to keep checking on me. Anyways, he's like, I don't know how I'm packing a chainsaw and a bunch of my camping stuff in there this weather, you know. And so anyways,
I've been out of state
back
for
over in September, October, and he says, no, he needs to call out.
This is the first time I've had a board meeting. I knew the first thing to say.
Because see, Dan was
My dad
going
did.
with him, that was the whole reason I planned that first week.
My favorite though is I was like,
I know it's not his fault, and I get overstepped that. And he was over or both.
You got it, you got it,
Yeah. Oh, we have horses. Oh, yeah. And I have the pack saddle, but I got him a pack saddle from that one guy that Dan told me to get, and I got the bags for him, and I got the cinch for him. We don't know if it'll fit our horse right, so he doesn't. Yeah.
well, we need to give you two.
Robert, come over this
Well, maybe not.
I don't have to know that.
Instead, I just see it at the time that even if you're not, I know it's crazy for you right now, because I know I can't. Well, it's just hard for me to feel it hard to sit down and just like go over stuff.
Those out, because I need you. I don't know. Yeah.
Chris usually works like Sunday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. He's usually off Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning. Yeah.
Back into maybe.
He loves that. We've done that before. We rode into Video on our horses.
Gotta practice now.
Oh yeah, well, Chris rides all the time because he has with the cattle. Anyways, let's get more.
Just one card.
Yeah, well, they say if they're not telling you, then you adjust it. Yeah, so it was like, I did not really want to.
Just going out right now, so that-
No, I didn't.
It's my here, it's my here, it's like that, you know, I was like,
Hey, Robert. 1555.
Hi, how you doing?
welcome. It's like, I want to consider it my Yeah. Yeah, because. Oh, yeah, I can snap. Not ready yet. Or you can just give it to me. No, that's perfect. I just like that. That's great. So, yeah. It's all has it where. And. On your boat. And if he does that. Yeah, we want to make sure, but we've never been in this situation. Like, I said, well, this might actually be good. Yeah, I just want to make sure. I did also.
Fires.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to our.
So Tracy, yeah, I know you. Yeah. I hardly know anybody who understands like.
I know. It's weird how it works.
Yeah, so I will, yeah, I'll just, yeah, just, maybe. Cause I just know, I think they just got me. Well, the top of the nine and
I said in an email.
so I was like, what was your?
So this is the new resolution.
Yeah, hopefully it's good. But I know that this year will come. And so we'll look at it.
Yeah, well. We might have it back.
And I appreciate you so much. Well, I'm only
Hammer that thing.
I didn't. That was, I don't know, my
John?
just a yellow highlighter, and I'll return that for you, so you don't have to.
I was waiting to get mine. My highlights are different than her highlights, but also I'm gonna tell you that it's just a handout for your info.
Oh, I didn't.
Jade, you're on the email or this website.
We're gonna call this the order. Rolling, stand for the flag salute, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the board would like to officially welcome Robert Freeman as our superintendent to our very first board meeting. welcoming Janet. For those that were here last time for that marathon meeting we had, which I hope is a record. I know we never break that. Anyhow, she was on video, so Janet Holland, this is our new additional board member. Okay, so let's crack on through this. No presentations. We have adoption of agenda items in order of consideration. So
Superintendent does not have any requests for agenda items.
are there any board members that have requests for agenda items to be considered? All right, so request for change of order of agenda items. That's excellent. All right, so we'll move on to our reports and start with our superintendent. Welcome.
Excellent. See, can you hear me now? Is that better? Okay, perfect. First of all, I would just like to share my experience that I've had transitioning to the Blythe School District. I believe this is week number 3 for me. And I have received so much love and gratitude for coming to this district. People have been super welcoming, super positive, eager for things that are going to happen this year. I've had several community members come and chat with me. All 100% have been positive. And when we talk about focusing on kids and the student experience, every single person to a T is way on board with that. So I am so excited and looking forward to this, my first opportunity to be a superintendent, but more importantly, my first opportunity in the Blythe School District. I already feel like I am part of the family, and I just want to thank people for that. We have a lot of people in this room have reached out to me and gone out of their way to make me feel welcome. And I appreciate that. I can't name everyone, but I do want to call out, in particular, Jen, who has gone above and beyond, making sure that my transition has been positive. So Jen, thank you very much. So with that, I want to, it's been a busy 3 weeks, busy last couple of days actually. I want to tell you a few things that are happening. So there's been some discussion and talk about SRO, bringing an SRO back to the school district. I would like the board and the public to know that we've started entering into discussions with the county sheriff's department, and in particular Sheriff Hamlin, about the possibility of bringing an SRO back on campus. So we have a uniformed police officer. That has been pretty well, it's been very positively received with the leadership team and by members of the board. I attended a training with Brent Harvey to talk about the I Love You Guys. And can we pass these out while I talk about this? I want to talk to you about the why. I actually brought some copies for the public too. So as many of you are aware, and this is I Love You Guys informational, all this stuff is free online. The I Love You Guys Foundation was started by an unfortunate event where a family's daughter was held as hostage with a perpetrator that the intent was to kill several people in that school. She was able to negotiate with that person, and unfortunately, she was the only person to lose their life before law enforcement could neutralize the threat. Her last text to her parents were, "I love you guys." Listened to the founder, the dad, Emily's dad, talk twice, and it's just amazing how the dad and the mom both dedicated their life to helping or to save people's lives. Okay, that being said, last year, many of you are aware of the swatting incident that happened in Douglas County. Fortunately, that was just a hoax, and the county was able to learn some very valuable lessons about that incident. And one of the things that the county learned was that school districts, not only school districts, but municipals and hospitals and large organizations, everybody was using different terminology. So when law enforcement showed up, I would even say even the dispatcher at the county, everyone was using different terminology. And like I said, thank goodness it was just a hoax, so we didn't have an incident. We were able to get better because of that. And one of the things that is happening in the county, is all the school districts are adopting the I Love You Guys standard response protocol. The reason for that is because it's very simple. Unfortunately, we've learned throughout the years and all the things that have been happening in our country that often emergency plans are so detailed and convoluted that in a stressful crisis situation, people forget, like they forget what the code is or what the code means. And so this is a super simple, I'm just gonna really briefly go over this, but we're gonna roll this out in our school district, just like the other county schools are. So if there's an unfortunate event that happens, school districts and law enforcement and first responders, police also, ambulance, we're all using the same terminology. I think I gave all my flyers out. That's okay, I'll take it. Okay, so the first one is a low-level threat, and that's called a hold. Anybody can initiate a hold. A hold would be used like if there's a medical incident or a fight or something that we just need students to stay where they're at. And like I said, anybody can initiate that and anybody can release that hold. So like I said, if there's a medical incident in a hallway, a hold would be used so we could keep the hallway clear so medical personnel could get to that student or staff person. The next level is a secure. This used to be called a lockout. There was confusion between lockout and lockdown, so they've changed the terminology to secure. So often you'll hear secure followed by lockout. Lockout is when the threat is in the neighborhood or close to a school district, and we lock the doors. And it's really important that we give this message out because that means that nobody's allowed into the building. And I know there's parents sitting in the audience, I'm sure that scares you to death, that you won't have access to your children. But this is if the law enforcement agencies put us in a secure, then we harden our exterior, we bring anybody that's outside inside, and it's business as usual inside of our walls. Law enforcement releases a secure. A lockdown is more serious. That means the threat is inside of our building, and we're going to lock down. We're going to go lock our doors, turn our lights off, and we're going to be out of sight. There'll be more training on this to give our staff permission to use the information at hand. And what I mean by that is if we know the threat is on the opposite side of the building, the best option might be to take your students and run and get away from the threat. We'll talk more about that in-house. But a lockdown is when the threat is inside. So lock, lights, and out of sight. We'll have evacuation procedures. Sometimes we might evacuate just to outside the building, or depending on what the threat is, we would evacuate to a neutral site and then go through a unification process to get students back with their parents. And then the last one we've kind of had already with our drills, but this is a shelter in place. And as you can see at the bottom of this, they give you lots of different scenarios. I'm pretty sure we're safe from a tsunami, but I hope so. But anyway, that's the I Love You Guys standard response protocol. All county schools are going to that same protocol. I want to share with you, I've had some really great positive experiences, but one of the greatest experiences I had so far is I attended the fair. I didn't see Ben come in. I know he often attends these board meetings, but our ag teacher, Ben Kirshner, was my personal tour guide. He introduced me to several students and families, showed me animal projects, photography, art, mechanic projects, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here because you guys all know this, but Glenn was incredibly well represented at the fair. And I was so proud of our kids and the product that we put forth. I want to share a quick story with you because if we can support our students to be like this young lady that I witnessed, then I will feel like a huge success. So many of you probably know this student. Her name is Olivia Sconce. Ben took me to the pig barn, which I want to get back at him for doing that. But while we were there, we watched the grand showmanship class in pigs. I'm sure I'm saying that incorrect. Olivia, one of our students, she graduated this year. I'm sure many of you recognize her name. She was doing amazing. I'm not a pig judge. I thought she should have won. But Olivia, and I was told that Olivia's had a lot of success in showing pigs and raising pigs, and so she was used to being the top person and being very successful. She ended up getting reserve champion, which is second place, and a young lady from Days Creek got first place. And as soon as that young lady from Days Creek was announced as a champion, Olivia left her pig and literally ran over to that student and gave her one of the biggest hugs that I've ever seen in my life. We could all learn a lesson from that. The gratitude and graciousness that Olivia showed towards that other person just warmed my heart. I'd even get choked up now talking about it. If we can help our students view the world and treat each other like that, we've really done our job. Lots of amazing things at the fair. We recently had a leadership meeting. I'm sure just like a lot of you in this room, the leadership team needed to know who their superintendent was. It's scary. I've been through several superintendent changes, and it's always a little nerve-wracking. Like, who's going to be my boss? What kind of person is this person? So I think we had a great meeting. I challenge you to talk to any of our leadership people about our meeting. But we were able to really get into some pretty deep discussions in our very first meeting, and so very proud of that team. I want to let you know that we have a jumpstart meeting tomorrow morning. Board members, you're invited to attend. Starts at 8 o'clock right here. I want to give a huge shout out to Lynn. She was at the dinner. I don't know. There she is. Lynn is our point person for our mentor program. The jumpstart day is for our, Lynn, help me out. It's our first through third year teachers. And when I found out about this, I don't know how many of you heard my interview, but I'm a huge proponent on hiring people and then giving people support so they stay with us. And when I heard about this Jumpstart program, I was overwhelmed with joy. That's exactly what we need to do to support our people. It's hard enough getting people to come here, and we want to do everything we can to keep people here. And Lynn and her team are definitely doing that with the Jumpstart program. I also want you to be aware that we're going to do an all-staff in-service on August 24th, 10:30. Again, board members, you're invited to that. This will be an opportunity for me to address our entire staff. I'm sure many people are also eager to get to know the new superintendent, but that'll be my opportunity to chat with them. And I always think a good meeting has food, and so just like today, that was organized by the Teacher Association group, and John brought some lamb. Anytime you can talk and do business around food, that's a good thing. A couple quick kudos before I turn the mic over. I want to give a shout out. He's not here today, but I want to give a shout out to Brent Harvey. Brent and his team have been working tirelessly through the summer to ensure that our construction projects are complete before kids show up, that our facilities are set and ready to go. Tammy Beard, our elementary principal, took me on a tour of our new play structure at the elementary. OMG, is it awesome. If you haven't had a chance to see it, you definitely need to go down there. We got a little bit of a hold up on getting the rubber placed. The truck, they did show up today? Nice. Okay, the truck broke down in Wyoming is the last I heard, so.
The other part is good.
Okay, so hopefully that'll all be set and ready to go, and that'll be a really great addition to our elementary school. I also want to give a shout out to Tammy and Christina for helping support and organize registration. What an incredible event. I got to meet, again, several parents and students and staff yesterday. Great turnout. Those things don't just happen. It takes a lot of effort. So I want to thank you guys publicly for that. With that, that's my report.
Do we have an update about, how those will drop off or pick up kids or anything due to construction? Is that getting in the way of anything?
Yeah, they gotta slow down and then push their kids out. I don't know, Christina or Tammy, you guys will probably let know, this is a group of
So, let's step up here.
these.
As far as we understand, they're still gonna allow people to turn left here. So that's the word on the street until somebody comes in and tells us differently. So we were gonna put out some kind of message, maybe talk to the church, see if people would park across the street and let kids use the crosswalk. We still might do that because we always have more kids than we can have parking spots up here for high school. It won't change middle school drop off and pick up at all, but definitely, just that, I'm pretty positive that if we can still try to draw some people that way. It will still back up turning just because there's not some place for somebody to go straight and turn. So we would anticipate there's still some hold up, but it shouldn't hold up the rest of our operations. You might come in tomorrow and say, no, you can't do that. But that's the story that we understand now.
So I can add to that. So I asked that specifically because the sign says that the center turn lane is closed. And that's all that means. That does not mean that you can't turn left there. And I'm with Christina until I'm told otherwise. That's the direction of things.
Thank you. Right, things are moving on to, and thank you for being on that. That's awesome.
Awesome.
I'm super excited about all this up here. So let's move on to personnel. So we have new hires.
Yeah, so we're still hiring and bringing people on. So I'd like to present to you new hires. So Ruby Livingston is going to be our assistant volleyball coach. Jordan Parazu is going to be our head volleyball coach. Rebecca Bean is our new ag science teacher. You'll see her in the consent agenda tonight. I did not have an opportunity to meet Rebecca at the fair. Our paths crossed. I'm looking forward to meeting her. Kaylin Lawrence is our middle school, high school food service personnel. And Brandon Halter is our JV basketball coach. We do have 2 resignations. We'd like to thank these people for their time in Glide and what they've done to support Glide students. Shanda Ruiz, head cook at the elementary school, and Janelle Dickinson, middle school instructional assistant and bus driver. They'll be leaving us. Several transfers that are happening. Jennifer Lucas, elementary assistant secretary, is moving to the secretary position, and Bobby Villarreal, former kindergarten instructional assistant, is going to be the elementary assistant secretary. Rebecca Dozier is going from our elementary office manager to administrative finance specialist, and Krista Ratcliffe, middle school, high school assistant cook, is moving to our elementary assistant cook.
Okay, I think we're going to move on to the principal's report. So whoever wants to go first on that, since we've got a couple of principals.
So good evening again. Mr. Freeman already kind of touched on some of those changes, but before you have a sheet for both elementary and the middle high. And I just wanted to highlight a few people there in yellow. Of course, every single person on the sheet is absolutely instrumental in student success. So there's not a single category that outweighs another category. Just want to give kudos to every person on our team. They're super valuable. We're really excited. Katie Roth is moving up from secretary of elementary to our office manager position. And she has definitely created a sense of community already in our office. Everybody's laughing, we're just having a great time up there so far with her addition, so super happy for that. Megan Alberts, this last year, was moved from the custodial position to a PE position, and just to kind of give some clarification on that, with 2 male PE teachers up here, health and wellness, we always have to have a female IA in the bathrooms or locker rooms for supervision for changing. And usually it's pulling from many different people's schedules. So it was really smart last year, through Tim and the administration to move a position into that solid position for locker duty time. So there will be portions of the day where she goes out into classrooms and helps provide student services academically. But then most of the time she'll be in that locker room and helping with supervision. So that should streamline some things there for us. Custodians, just want to give a huge shout out to our custodians. They are phenomenal, super great bunch. Vern Lawrence came on last year. You'll notice that last name is the same as our kitchen assistant cook, Kaylin. So that is his wife, and they're great people. Corey Long is a super funny guy, and great to have here on staff, as well as Jeff Organ came on halftime and is split between both the middle high and elementary campus. So we were able to, with a number of students, just really provide cleaner facilities. When things come up, things being unloaded, we just have a lot more help to do that. So we really feel like our custodial staff is really well staffed at this point. We're gonna have a little bit different model for our behavior interventionists this year. There's been some grant monies through the county that the GSD received to provide us with essentially some free services for people that are doing internships to become counselor type positions. So the lady that we had last year, Alexa Parks, she will be splitting her time as behavior interventionist up here, half of the day in the second half, and then she'll do a Tammy in the first half at the elementary. And then we'll have a full-time additional person, Tawny Drought, that will be up here all day for our students. So it is an additional half-time FTE, so we can, students have somebody to talk to and an additional adult to relate to and have as a role model up here, and we're super happy for that and that connection with PESD for our kids. Mr. Freeman already talked about Rebecca Dean, bringing her on. Many of you know her. She has a long history in our community, and she's very knowledgeable about agriculture. She currently, helps run a fishing lodge up there for her family up there in Alaska. And so she has a lot of knowledge in terms of ag to bring to our kids, and as well as for career development days and opportunities for leadership. So we're really looking forward to bringing her on as well. And then two more there, Tobias McGrody. So he's our science teacher at middle school. And as I understand, he's ready to go. Hasn't been on campus yet, but we'll be here anytime. We've been working really closely with our mentor team already with Warren Shaw. John's already got him lined up with the Google Docs and some historical documents to kind of get his curriculum up and running. And I understand he has a lot of energy, so we're looking forward to that. And Nicholas Perini already served the entire day at registration, meeting new kids and families, and just want to give a coordinated kudo to him for being there for our music program and really trying to advocate for that for all of our kids. And then he's cleaning up his room in there, looking at all the instruments, and he said, "Is there any way we can do the hallway in the room?" And I thought, "Oh man, this is late in the game." But we'll try to give it a try, even if we have to come in after hours and try to paint it. We'll call Brent, and he said, "I have a painter." And that very day, he came up and sent Lance up here, painted his room. They finished the term today. It looks awesome. It's the best that room has looked in the 15 years that I've been here. So I'm super excited for that. I think he's going to be a great addition to our community and our kids program. So, any questions? All right, thank you.
Same with me. As you heard, I have a whole new office staff. Bobby was a kindergarten aide, so you know that's just like bubbling with joy. So every time you go in the office, she's, "Oh, good morning," and it's really refreshing to see. Both Bobby and Jennifer are just working so hard to learn all of the systems, get comfortable with everything because it's been so everybody's leaving. Luckily, Katie and Rebecca are still in the district, so they have been fantastic help for both of those ladies, and I have no doubt that we might have a few bumps, but the war will survive, and it's going to be so. Moving on, my highlights are a little different, mine are open positions, so mostly I have like my office manager position still open, I have a few IA positions open, and, cook position, I am getting Krista Ratcliffe, I'm excited, I met her today, I told her I was gonna do my very, very best to spell her name right, because my daughter's name is Krista and they spelled it differently, so I'm gonna have to work on that. She's lovely, super upbeat, she comes from, up north at school, she was at an elementary school for 30 years, and she started composting and recycling program with her students, and I was like, we are trying to compost some stuff for the worms at the land lab, so I'm super excited about that we can bring that expertise onto our staff. Our custodians, we have Malachi, AJ, they've been part of our team, and those are great guys. We rounded them out with Devin Kinney, as you know, he joined the Marines. He's going to graduate here soon. I'm not supposed to say when because he wants to surprise people when he comes home, but I'm super proud of him. And so filling his shoes, we have Michael McClelland. Michael McClelland is not a new person for me. He's been in the community. I had his daughter when I was a 5th grade teacher, and I'm super excited for him to join the Bobcat team. So he's been great. Those guys, they worked around so many projects. I don't know how many times they had to move things and get things ready for the various contractors going in and out, from the plumbers to the electricians to the sheet metal guys, and it's just been amazing. They really worked hard. Right now they're painting our gym and it looks amazing, and I'm just super excited that those 3 guys are they are really ready to welcome our staff back in. So, I had Mrs. Shaw lead our special ed team, so Mackenzie Morton has worked for us this year as a special ed IA. She is a very, very motivated, hardworking girl. She has been going to school this whole entire time and working, and put her on the spot over there. So she is super excited. I came in Saturday to work on some stuff, and already there's this beautiful bulletin board outside her classroom, and I was like, is she here? I didn't see this on Thursday when I left, so I know someone's sneaking around in the building. Anyway, so just got full stop for everyone else. We do have, we're watching our numbers, but we're ready to get rocking up.
After all of that. No staff report, right, okay. That's good. And board members reports, anybody have anything that? I would like to say a little something. So last weekend I went to the OSBA conference in Salem. It was very informative, and I'm probably going to try to engage as many trainings of that nature that I can. I think it's really good to understand not only just some basics, but it's good networking to know what else is going on. The OSBA is going to be voting on this fall whether they're going to approve a rural caucus. So I've kind of got my eye on that, and I would like to be involved in that. I think that would be really important for our district. Of course, that'll be a decision that we all make if they pass that, decide that should be a thing, but I think that would be a really beneficial thing, so I hope that they pass that. I did heard some really good stuff on Robert's rules, and just want to say, by the way, I can second things, just saying. So clarify that. Let's see what else. There was a really good legislative piece that talks about advocacy in Salem. So hoping that we can get more information on that, so that if there's ever things that are going to happen in Salem that are actually going to have a pretty substantial impact on our kids, I think that it would behoove us to have a voice there if that could be a benefit to us. And we do have the capability to do that, and that does seem to be impactful. I don't know if anyone here has ever given testimony before. I have in other areas of my work, and it makes a difference. So I think that wherever we can be, keep an eye on things that are going to impact our kids, we want to be on top of that. That's just my 2 cents about that. And one of the prime takeaways from last weekend was that the more time the board can spend talking about kids and outcome of kids and things that are benefiting the kids in our district, there is a direct correlation of better outcomes for kids. So I'm hoping, and I'm just speaking for myself, that we can get to a place in this district where that's what these meetings are about, or really doing cool stuff for kids to have opportunities and sustainable opportunities for future generations. So just wanted to say that. So thank you. Okay, so I think we're on discussion items. Revision to organizational resolution. And that is going to,
Just need some changes.
yeah, so we brought this up, if some of you will recall, this was a thing that we talked about last meeting, and this is something that we're required to do every July by the state, and you have to kind of list who is in these roles. So we have changed that now because we have a new superintendent, so that has been updated, and we are also changing our legal representation, and so that has been updated as well. And so purchase of 2 school buses and the resolution for that.
What?
Yeah.
Can I just?
Yes, somebody.
So what the resolution is, so when, we plan to purchase 2 buses, we have to kind of estimate how much based on, how much it cost previously. And so we were like about $1,000 short on that, so we need to, move funds to, so that's what the resolution is about.
Thank you. And so. Okay, so we'll just need to hop right back, gotcha. Consent agenda, consent action. Sure. Okay. Would someone like to entertain a motion?
I move to approve the purchase and financing of 2 school buses for a total cost of $316,424 as presented and amended.
I'll second that.
Okay, do we need a discussion? We already did. All right, so all in favor? Motion passes. Am I entertaining a motion about the minutes? Yeah, can I just do that as one? Okay, so can I'd like to entertain I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Which includes the minutes and the general fund expenditures.
I need to approve the August 2023 consent agenda items as presented. With that.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Now we have a discussion.
By the way, did I mention we were going to get this training on the Robert Rules things? Also,
Where's Nan? You can straighten this out.
but remember this, Robert Rules serve the board does not serve Robert. So it is a format to structure our meeting, not to hold me hostage. So, okay, that being said, yeah, let's have a discussion. Or not.
Well, then we go through the minutes, so we should read the minutes of the last meeting. And if there needs to be any
Well, didn't
amendments.
we already just approve that?
Yeah, the consent agenda
Is the whole group thing?
Right. But have we read the minutes from last meeting?
I did.
So we don't have to read them out loud?
Right.
Okay.
Please, no.
All right,
Do you remember how long?
okay. So, well, I'm just gonna keep running here.
Yeah, please do.
I'm gonna pretend I'm vice chair. General fund expenditures, we're all good with that. Oregon English Learner Report. We have a chance to review that, we're good with that. And request for applying for a grant. Terry Blackwell Community Credit Union Chalkboard Grant for phonics decodable books. Any further discussion on that?
Do we have more information on what that is? Yeah.
Their books based on phonics skills that she's teaching students, so they're broken down.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you.
Was Sherry, did she write the grant? Fantastic, love that. Ben Karsher, or, yeah, Karsher, sorry, if I butcher your names, donation of plumbing materials for a class project from North Alcoa Plumbing in the amount of $375. Any further discussion
Good to be.
about that or comment? All right. Then no further discussion.
All right. So, all in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented? Passes. All right, action items.
1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so,
You guys have 52.
yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, no, so 7.1, which is, so I would entertain a motion to approve the revision of the organizational resolution.
I move to approve the 8/16/2023 revision to the organizational resolution 7/10/2023 as presented.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Okay. And 7.3, so also entertain a motion for employment of teacher Rebecca Mead.
I move to ratify the first year probationary employment of Rebecca Dean, agricultural science teacher at Clive Middle and High School for the 2023-24 school year as presented.
All those in favor? Right. 8.1, all staff can service barbecue, August 24th. Just making sure I'm on the right page, there, the agenda, everything's okay. Yeah, August 24th at 11:30 a.m. at the high school library. Do you want attending? These are just announcements, by the way. First day of school is August 28th. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're here already. OSBA board training, September 18th at 6 p.m. in the high school library. Looking forward to that. Future agenda items.
I said this to Juicy, but I know that in the budget meeting that there was competition that we had around just the forecasting for even the students coming in for registration and how much sunshine has and will impact that. So it would be nice to get an update.
And also, we have not forgotten that we were reading through certain policies. It's not something that we have voted on yet, and I'm not sure if we actually have to have a vote on it, but I do believe there's talk about adopting, making sure that OSBA goes through all of our policies and they're up to date with current ORS I can think of two specifically that are not in alignment with the Oregon law, that ours are different for some reason, and I'm not sure what that's all about, so I think having, another look at that is a good idea. Just my 2 cents. And
Madam Chair, you can direct
I'm directed. Please, and thank you. Okay, I think we're at public comment time. And sorry, just compared to last meeting, this doesn't even seem real. Right, so anyone that has completed a yellow card wishing to address the board concerning either agenda or non-agenda items may do so when called upon. Persons addressing the board may first state their full name and address for the record, including whether they are a resident of the Gladys School District. All remarks should be directed to the entire board and not individual members, please. 30 minutes have been set aside for the public comment period, with a limit of 3 minutes per speaker as needed. And so, yeah, I think we're gonna work on this. My 2 cents about this is that, I mean, we don't have to be super hardcore when it's just a couple of people and we're on time, and like, I really want to make sure we hear what people have to say. I think that's important. If we've got 30 cards, then we're probably will have to really watch the time. Sense there? Okay. So we reserve the right to delay a response to questions or comments until we can be fully informed on a matter. Public comment is not a time for dialogue, it's an opportunity for the board to listen and take notes, and limiting the interaction to clarifying questions only. I'm working on that. So the board cannot entertain or consider complaints until they have first been addressed as per board policy KL. Also, Oregon law prohibits the board from discussing specific district employees or their job performance in a public meeting. And thank you for your time and understanding regarding these rules and requirements. So, first card I had was Abby Malik regarding the athletic advisory committee.
Well, I mean, I'm in the district. I don't know if this is a board question or the athletic director question actually, but I was just wondering if there are steps that can be taken to consider an athletic advisory committee for the district. And again, I wasn't sure if this is the board, you know, that there are some advisory committee guidelines in our procedures or the handbook for the schools, but I just didn't know if it had to be approved by the board or if that's something you just take up with our athletic director. So that's basically my
Okay, that's a good question.
question / comment.
We will look into that. Thanks. Then Jeff Monterich.
No comments.
Okay. Lynn Hill.
I'm just here to remind you that I submitted some questions back in July through letter format for the sitting board members that were here at the time. I think it was July 19th, July 12th. And then I mentioned them at the July regular meeting, and I'd still be interested in hearing the responses to those. Some of them have kind of answered themselves. I don't particularly need to know anymore what Patrick Mayer did while he was here in July or not here in July, but the rest of them I'm still curious about.
Okay, I think that is everybody, and oh,
Teamwork and action tonight. It was brought to our attention that we elected to move to ratify first-year probationary employment of Mackenzie Morton, special ed teacher at Light Elementary, the 23-24 school year.
I motion that we do all of that. So moved.
What he said.
And I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Sorry, Mackenzie. Congratulations.
All righty, folks, I think we're adjourning this meeting. 1 hour, less than 1 hour. Folks, we're really